Okay, we're back from the break. Where are we? Acha, this is something that we are all familiar with. At least I think we are. Is there anybody here who doesn't know how to read a graph? Do we have anybody in the class who doesn't know how to read a graph? Everybody here knows how to read a graph, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so more or less you said yes, sir. What about the remaining people? Does everybody over here, you know the basics of a graph, right?
Yes,
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 sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
You know the basics of a graph?
Graph as in the x-axis and the y-axis. Y graph.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you must know, but okay, then we don't need to get that into detail. It's just that graph is nothing, but it's just a visual representation of a function. You know what a function is? Do you know what a function is?
So function of what?
You know what a function is? Function. Why
A
is the
group
function
of
of X?
activities that completes.
Why is a
in
function of
task.
X? You know what that is, right?
Yes. There is an independent variable, a dependent variable.
Okay, so we know what just a second. We all know what y is a function of X. Okay,
Yes.
we know this very well. Where the colors go. And then we also know this is the dependent variable. And we also know that this is the independent variable, right?
Yes, sir.
These are all mathematical conventions that we are all familiar with. Now, once we look at the dependent and independent variable, by convention, isn't the independent variable always on the x-axis?
Yes.
And the dependent variable is always on the y-axis, right? We all know this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in economics, we are going to reverse the two axes. We're going to make the y-axis the independent axis, the x-axis the dependent axis. Now let me stop share for the time
So
being.
why so?
I'll come to that later.
Okay.
We are familiar. Those of you who are very familiar with mathematics, very confident in mathematics, know very well, and those who don't, not confident in that doesn't matter. X-axis by definition, by convention, is the axis of the independent variable. What is the independent variable in a function? The variable that changes first. That's the independent variable. What is the dependent variable? The dependent variable has two conditions. It changes after the independent variable. It changes because of the independent variable. Just because two things happen before and after does not necessarily mean that the first is independent, the cause, the second is dependent, the effect. Let me give you an example. We are watching a match. Okay, who's your favorite Bangladeshi batsman?
Mushfiqur Rahim.
Tamim Iqbal.
Mushfiqur Rahim's name came first, so we have to take him first.
Okay. Yeah.
We have to take him first because he's the only person who has three double centuries.
Double centuries in tests.
He's the only one who has three of them. Anyhow, so Mushfiqur Rahim is playing. The first two balls come and he hits sixes. Okay. Now, just before the third delivery, your friend comes into the room and Mushfiqur Rahim, he gets out. So there's two events that happen one after another. Your friend enters the room. This is the first event. Second event, Mushfiqur Rahim gets out. Can we say that because your friend entered the room, therefore Mushfiqur Rahim got out?
No, sir.
So the thing,
No connection between the events.
not connection. So when we talk about dependent and independent variables, independent variable always changes first. That's the first, that's the cause. And dependent variable changes after the independent variable and also because of the independent variable. Now, if the price of something goes up, That's the first variable that
Change.
changes. Because of the price going up,
The
people change
demand
their
can
consumption,
vary.
or farms change their production pattern. That becomes a cause and effect relationship, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So basically what we are going to do when we talk about, where is it? Let me give you another one. In
এই যে
this,
স্যার এই যে বেসিক যে ফাংশনটা স্যার আর কি মানে ম্যাথমেটিক্স এর যে বেসিক ফাংশনটা স্যার এই y ইজ ইকুয়াল টু fx আর এখানে হচ্ছে x টা হচ্ছে ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট আর y টা ডিপেন্ডেন্ট। এখানে তো স্যার গ্রাফটা আঁকলে y টা থাকে হচ্ছে ভার্টিক্যালি আর x টা থাকে হরাইজন্টালি, রাইট? আচ্ছা,
we are going to change that now. Okay, this is the condition after and because.
মাঝখানে কি ডিভাইডেড সাইন?
No. It's not a divided sign. No. Good question though. Then so when we are doing a relationship, we're doing like this, right? Y is a function of X. So X changes first, independent changes first, dependent after, and because. Acha, can we now say just because you entered the room, the next event is Mushfiq or Rahim gets out? Are the two related to each other?
No, sir.
But
They're
they
not.
happen one after another, right?
Mhm.
One
But-
happened before, the second event happened after. So independent and dependent, they also happen in a sequence. Independent changes first, but dependent variable changes after and because. So if we now write it like this,
So the example that you gave, ওইখানে the after part is there, but the because part is missing.
correct. Quantity demanded of X is a function of the price of X. If we write it like this, because Px changes, thus Q dx changes after. এবার ঠিক আছে?
Yes, sir.
So this should be evident. Oh, sorry. So basically, a functional relationship is we want to find a cause and effect. Cause is the independent, dependent is the effect. And by convention, cause is always written in the right part, the independent variable. On the left side, we write the dependent, the effect. Acha, এখন we said that we are going to make a little change from
স্যার এখানে আপনি যেটা দেখালেন স্যার একটু আগে মানে প্রাইসের উপর বেস করে ডিমান্ডটা চেঞ্জ হচ্ছে, তাই তো?
হুম।
আমার কোয়েশ্চেন হচ্ছে স্যার মানে এটা কি উল্টোটা হয় কখনো, মানে ধরেন ডিমান্ড বাড়া কমার কারণে প্রাইসের মানে চেঞ্জ হয়, এভাবে কি হয়?
but we are not going to get into that.
ওকে
Okay, this is Y, this is X. Let me give a different color. This is a graph. Uh-oh. Where's the eraser? Okay, those of you who are familiar with mathematics, what's the slope of this line?
So y equal x.
Run.
This is
The y equal x, sir.
This is y is a function of X. What is the slope? What is the value of the slope? Nobody knows what the value of the slope is.
Sir, x এর কোনো change হয়নি. That's why y এর কোনো change হয়নি.
Isn't it 90 degree?
Celsius. Yes.
Huh? Isn't that what's the inclination? Isn't it 90 degree?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It's
sir.
90 degree.
So if it's 90 degree, what's the slope? Slope is undefined now,
Undefined.
right? If the slope is, if the inclination is 90 degree, the slope is undefined. Sometimes we say it's infinity, right?
So could you explain what a slope is?
You don't know what a slope is?
Sir, ভুলে গেছি।
ভুলে গেলে তো হবে না।
Sir, we are bad at maths.
এই যে, is there any change in x as we move here along this curve?
No.
No, sir.
So this is 0. So that means the ratio becomes infinity. This is the mathematical convention.
স্লোপটা একটু বুঝান স্যার।
Slope to no, I can't do this. You are supposed to have finished the mathematics course. Huh?
Sir, I didn't do math. Math I
Sir,
was.
slope is 0.
If you haven't done the maths course, this is a prerequisite of this course. Then there's something wrong with the advising. Acha. I can't do these mathematics. Come on. This is y, this is x. Okay. Now, which one is more? Oh, where's the eraser? This is one graph. This is another line. Which one is more steeper?
So the right one.
Right
Right
one.
one. Do we all agree
The
that
right
this
one.
the right one is more steeper?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so this is steep. That means inclination is high.
Hi.
This is flat. So inclination is low. Acha. Suppose if we look against the y-axis, we looked at x, which we said by definition is always the independent axis. If we looked against the y-axis, isn't this 90-degree angle going to be 0 degree compared to the y-axis?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is what we mean by changing the axis. A graph is nothing but a visual presentation of two relationships.
Yes,
We
sir.
are programmed to see x as the independent variable. So if we see a 90-degree, we always calculate it against the x-axis. ঠিক আছে? Now, let's get back to the example. Let's do it again, huh? This is x-axis. This is another axis. Okay. So this is y, price. This is x, say quantity. And then what we do a graph that looks like this. If our independent variable is the x-axis, then definitely we all agree that this is 90-degree, right?
Yes, sir.
But if our independent variable is the y-axis, doesn't this same graph become 0 degree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, so what happens if we see a graph like this in economics, which we will in the next class? The slope is not 90 degree, it's going to be 0 degree. Why? Because our reference axis is the y-axis, not the x-axis. So, and similarly, oh, sorry. Uh-oh, hi. Okay, similarly, oh, so terrible. Let's blackboard ভালো ছিল। আচ্ছা, if we are mathematics, if we are following a mathematics convention, this is a 0 degree, right? This one.
Yes.
Which one?
But if our reference axis is going to be the x-axis, then isn't this 90 degree?
Yes, sir.
Is it 90?
Now,
Yes.
ever clear hoise?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically,
y-axis হলে তখন 90 degree.
y-axis will be our independent variable axis for most of the graphs that we will look at. So whatever we saw as 90 degree in mathematics will become 0. Whatever we saw as 0 degree in mathematics will now become 90 degrees. Okay. This is a convention. Somebody asked me why this happened. There was a gentleman called Alfred Marshall. He made this convention. Why he did it, God knows. But once a convention is given, it sticks. For example, we say that this is my right hand. Because we were told that this is my right hand. If somebody told me that this was my left hand, then from the beginning we would have assumed that it's my left hand. So now we go back to the slides. So slope is basically we want to express this relationship, cause and effect. And we said that price is the independent variable. Now the price is on the y-axis. Quantity is the dependent variable, that's on the x-axis. That's the only difference that we're going to make. And the horizontal axis, we know that any right movement is a plus, any left movement is a negative, and the vertical axis, any up, down is positive, negative. Now, when we want to plot a graph, what do we do? This is x-axis, the DVDs. This is y-axis, the CDs. Can we look at the numbers and say that this is a straight line? Karo বুঝতে অসুবিধা হলে বলো, I'll explain. Can somebody tell, but just by looking at the numbers, that these numbers, if we plot in a graph, will be a straight line?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the person who said yes, how did you understand?
So it is multiplied by 2.
Multiplied by 2 means it increases by 2 or decreases by 2 for every unit, right?
Yes, sir.
So if we are at 6, then CDs is 0.
Yes,
If
sir.
we increase DVDs by 1, sorry, decrease DVD by 1, we gain 2 more CDs. Decrease DVD by 1 again, we we get 2 more CDs again. So every time we're moving 1 step down, we're gaining 2 steps more. So the ratio, which is the slope, remains unchanged. That's why this is a clear indication this is going to be a straight line. If we plot it here, here it is. Now, the person who said, what is a slope? They wanted to revisit it again. Okay, we'll do it as simply as possible.
Sir, right now I can remember. I mean, I forgot actually. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you can remember. It's just that you haven't practiced for a long time, right?
Yes, sir. I mean,
Yes,
I
sir.
was-
Go on, sir.
Yes,
If you haven't practiced for some time, slope is, just remember this much: rise over run. As we run, don't we run like this?
Yes.
So this is the change in the horizontal axis. As we rise, don't we rise like this? When we say you're rising, do you see a horizontal movement or a vertical movement?
Vertical.
So this is definitely the vertical movement. Okay, so what we have over here is, now let me change the color. So this is the rise and this is the run. The best way to remember what the slope is just a ratio between rise and run. Rise, the moment we use the word rise, just visualize it. We're definitely looking at a vertical movement. We're either going up, which will be positive, or we're coming down, which will be negative. Run is also, run is definitely a horizontal movement. If we are going to the right, it's a plus. If we're moving to the left, it's a negative. So let's get back.
স্যার একটা ম্যাথমেটিক্যাল এক্সাম্পল দিবেন স্যার, এই যে রাইজ বাই রান।
এখনই দিচ্ছি একটু, I can't go faster. Also, look at the
Sure,
rise. As we move from A to E, look at the rise. At A, it's 8. what is the value of vertical value at E? Isn't it 6? We're moving from A to E. What is the rise?
Yes,
The
sir.
rise is the
8.
change in the vertical axis. We started off with 8,
Minus
we
6,
ended it
2.
with 6. So the change is the last value minus the first value, 6 minus 8. Okay?
Minus 2.
Run Taki, as we move from A to E, we started with 2. At E, we ended up with 3.
3 minus
So
2.
last value minus first value. That's how we calculate a change. So that will be 3 minus 2. So as we move from A to E, there was a change in the vertical value from 8 to 6. That means we calculate 6 minus 8. As we moved from A to E, there was a change also in the horizontal value from 2 to 3. 3 was the last one, so that's why we say 3 minus 2.
A to E যাচ্ছি আমরা নাকি E to A যাচ্ছি?
No, we're moving from A to E. A to E. Okay, wait, let me.
তাহলে স্যার 8 minus 6 হলো না কেন স্যার?
Last
Rise
value
এর?
is 6.
Acha, as we move from A to E, what is the value that we started off with? Isn't this the first value, 8?
8, yes.
Yes,
look.
sir.
8,
Acha,
yeah. Yes,
when
sir.
we came to E, what is the last value? 6 now?
6, yes, sir.
6.
So whenever we calculate change is always last minus
Minus
first.
first.
So we started off with 8, which is the first. We ended with 6, which is the last. So that's why we calculate 6 minus 8. Is it clear now?
Okay, sir.
Similarly, the run is just the horizontal part because we are using the word run. Now, those of you who are very, not comfortable, slope. We are defining slope like this. Rise over run. What is the range of the values that can happen? What is the minimum value of rise?
Positive.
In a change, what can be the least change that can happen? No change at all, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can it be something like anything other than that? When change happens, either we increase or we decrease. If there's no change, isn't that then what is the value of rise? Isn't it 0?
Yes, sir.
So if this is equal to 0, then slope, the minimum value will be 0, whatever the value of run, right? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
স্যার আগের
sir.
এক্সাম্পলটাতে যে স্যার আমরা A to E গেলাম ওইটা মানে কি স্যার কোনো কিছুর উপর বেস করে নাকি ওটা জাস্ট অ্যাজাম্পশন ছিল A to E?
No, we just moved from A to E and then we calculated what the coordinates were on the x and the y axis. Okay? আচ্ছা এখন দেখো, হ্যাঁ বলো।
জি স্যার মানে কিন্তু স্লোপটা ক্যালকুলেট করার জন্য আমরা কোন পয়েন্ট থেকে কোন পয়েন্টে যাব আর কি স্যার?
From the first point to the second point, if we move from A to E, if you move from E to A, you would have got the opposite result.
আচ্ছা
এখন দেখো, if the minimum value of the slope is 0, what is the maximum value of the slope?
Sir, infinity.
সেটা কখন হবে? When there is no change in run.
Yes, sir.
তাই না?
Yes, sir.
So then it will be undefined, not infinite.
Infinity means undefined. Okay, মানে আচ্ছা, whenever we look at a ratio, there is a numerator, there is a denominator. If the numerator is more than the denominator, the value is definitely greater than 1. If the numerator is less than the denominator, the value is definitely less than 1. তাই না?
Sir.
Right. So when it's greater than 1, how big can it become? It can become into infinity when the denominator becomes 0. Just what we said right now. When it becomes 0, when it becomes if the numerator is less than the denominator, just visualize it. The numerator is less than the denominator, then the ratio must be definitely less than 1, right? Do you agree? If the numerator is less than the denominator, what happens to the ratio? Is the ratio less than 1?
Yes, sir. Less than 1.
Okay. So if the numerator carries on becoming smaller, won't the ratio become smaller and smaller?
Yes, sir.
So what is the extreme value for that? The numerator becomes 0. So if the numerator is 0, no matter what the value of the denominator, the ratio becomes 0.
Yes, sir.
So when we look at a ratio, the best way to look at a ratio is we're saying that change in y divided by change in x. What is the ratio? If change in y greater than change in x, then definitely ratio is greater than 1. If change in y less than change in x, definitely ratio less than 1. We all understand this, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if it is greater than 1, কত বড় হবে? When this becomes 0, then the ratio becomes infinity. This becomes small. তাহলে when this becomes 0, the ratio will become 0. That's it. আর কিছু না. When we're looking at a slope, we just look at the ratio of the numerator, which is the rise, and the denominator, which is the run. What is rise? The change in the y-axis as we move from one point to another. What is run? The change in the x-axis as we move from one point to another. So ratio is just a visualization of a division. Just আমাদের খেয়াল রাখতে হবে, is the numerator larger or the denominator larger? If the denominator is larger, then definitely ratio is less than 1. If the numerator is larger, then definitely ratio is greater than 1. That's it. And the only the difference that once we get into the graphs, it will be clear that AJ, is this a positive slope?
Yes.
Because as x is increasing, y is also increasing, right? Huh? The green one.
Yes.
Acha, this is a zero slope if we define x as the independent axis. But if we define y as the independent axis, will the slope be 0 or will the slope be 90 degree to the y-axis?
90 degree.
Then the slope will become infinity.
Yeah.
এখানেও তাই, look at the orange one. We have defined it as infinity or undefined, whatever terminology you use, if the reference axis is x. But if the reference axis is y, so this same line, the slope will become 0. Is that clear now?
Yes.
Okay, lovely. This one we have done before. I don't think we need to do that. This one also we have done a lot of times. This is what we want to look at now. Marginal decisions. What is the difference between 4 and 4th?
4 is a single unit and 4th is maybe it's like first, second, third, fourth. So it's
Wait. Who said that? এটা কে বলছে?
sir, it's me, Ishika.
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে. You tell me, what did you say? What is the my question was, what is the difference between 4 and 4th?
Fourth represent a series, like it starts from first, second, third, and then it comes fourth. But when we are saying 4, we are talking about a single number or a single unit.
Correct. So, but instead of the word series, can I replace the word series with range?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So your name was Ishika, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, lovely. So the question that we asked Ishika was difference between 4 and 4th. Do we all agree that 4th is a single unit?
Yes.
And 4 is a range. That means
or the opposite, sir.
opposite কেন?
মানে
Why opposite?
so 4 is the range of what?
I'm coming to that. Do we agree that it's a range? So we don't. No problem. This is 0. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. When we say 4 is a range, are we not calculating from 0 to 4?
Yes, sir.
Why is it 0 to 4? Because our convention, our number counting starts from 0 by convention. It could have started from -1. That doesn't that's why I said range. So how is the range defined? It's a counting process. We always count from 0. From 0 to 1 is what?
0 to 1 is also a range.
It's a range, but what is this particular unit? Isn't this first?
First unit.
First unit.
But this is 1. What's this unit? Second now?
Yes.
Yes.
But as we count, this is 2. This is third. As we count, this is 3. This is fourth. As we count, this is 4. So has everybody here understood this graph?
Yes, sir.
Okay, lovely. Now let me stop share. When we consume something, do we consume 4 units in one shot, or we consume 1 unit after another?
1 unit after another.
The analysis that we are going to do, we are going to consume 1 unit after another. That means we are going to consume them incrementally. Incremental word means it's going to increase by 1 unit after another. So we consume the first unit, the second unit, the third unit, the fourth unit. Now, as we consume first, second, third, fourth, we are also doing another calculation. We are calculating 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you visualize this? Let's try to visualize it. As we finish the first unit, we have reached 1. As we finish the second bottle of water, we have reached 2. As we reach the third bottle of water, we have reached 3. So as we are consuming incrementally, unit by unit, we are also counting 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, lovely. Now, let's do it again. It's very simple, but a little bit intuitive. Uh-oh. Okay. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. What is your CGPA and GPA over here? No, not here, sorry. What is your CGPA and GPA and CGPA at this point? Are they the same after the
They
end
are
of the first
same.
year, first semester?
Yes, sir. They are same.
Acha. What is GPA? Is it your performance in the first semester?
Yes.
In a
Yes,
particular
sir.
semester?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So GPA, when we use GPA, that is your performance in first, second, third, fourth, right?
Individually.
Individually, incrementally. When we say GPA, then actually aren't we calculating numbers?
Yes, sir.
So
The average.
now there's 2 averages here. One average is your average in a particular semester.
Mhm.
So if this is your first semester, then at the end of the first semester, you can calculate your CGPA. Can you calculate CGPA before the semester starts?
No.
No.
So when we calculate, the CGPA is known as the average. When we calculate, the GPA is known as the marginal change. GPA is marginal. GPA is first, second, third, fourth. Average is average as we count 1, 2, 3, 4. So if your GPA is increasing from the previous semester, what happens to your CGPA? Does it rise?
It also
It
increases.
also increases. So if marginal is increasing, average must also be increasing. Can you visualize this using the concepts of GPA and CGPA?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, if your GPA is falling, isn't your CGPA also falling?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, if your GPA remains unchanged, what happens to your CGPA?
That will be
Unchanged.
shape, man. I
That
unchanged.
will also remain unchanged. Then at the end of the semester.
Yes, sir.
So this is how we are. আচ্ছা, এখন দেখো, margin is nothing but incremental decisions. That means, do I consume the first unit? I say yes, I consume the first unit. Why? My additional what is the additional benefit I get? I get a glass of water. How much am I willing to pay for the first glass of water? Say 100 taka. What is the cost of that additional glass of water? Say 10 taka. Will you consume the first unit? If the additional benefit, the marginal benefit you're getting from your first glass of water is worth 100 taka to you psychologically, you go downstairs to the restaurant and you find out that the additional cost for that particular glass of water is 1 taka. Sorry, 10 taka. Will you consume the first glass of water?
Sir.
Okay. Now, let's see what happens for the second glass of water. One glass of water, you are totally thirsty. Your thirst has been, you've taken care of your thirst. Now, the next question is, do I go for the second glass of water? If I'm willing to pay 5 taka for the second glass of water, I go downstairs and see that this second glass of water costs me 10 taka. Will I say yes? Will I consume the second unit?
I may not.
The second glass of water in my eyes is worth 5 taka. I have finished. I'm no longer thirsty after the first glass. So I am willing to pay say 5 taka for the second glass. I go downstairs and see that the second glass actually costs me 10 taka. Will I consume the second unit?
No, sir.
No,
sir, no.
So when we make a marginal decision, we just ask ourselves, what is the relationship between the incremental benefit and the incremental cost? Why are we doing this? Because we said that we are doing all type of optimizations based on net calculations. So if my additional benefit is say 100 taka from the first unit of water, and my additional cost is 10 taka, so MB minus MC, my net benefit is positive. As long as my net benefit is positive for that particular unit, I will say yes, I will go for it. But if I see the net benefit is less than the additional benefit is less than the additional cost, definitely I'm not going to go for that second unit. We've all agreed to this, right? MB minus MC positive, yes.
Yes, sir.
MB minus MC negative, no, right?
No. Yes, sir.
So in both cases, we have a definite answer. If we say yes, we will never say no. MB
Yes.
minus MC greater than 0. If we say no, we will definitely never say yes. MB minus MC less than 0.
So it will be remain same. That means never. This is the constant, right? It's
Now,
not going.
I mean, ask this, if I tell you the next one, what happens if I find MB is equal to MC?
Equilibrium point.
So it's a neutral. I mean, there is.
If I'm neutral, is that yes or no?
Yes.
If I'm neutral, it's yes.
Neutral means what? I mean,
Acha, so
nothing is changing.
Acha, who used the word neutral? Neutral শব্দটা কে ব্যবহার করছে? Who used the word?
Sir, me.
Acha, you explain to that other person what neutral what you meant by neutral.
I mean, I'm not in the yes position or not the no position. I mean just that will be now that depend on the benefits. I mean, how much benefit I'm getting or not with it.
When I say yes, isn't that a definite answer?
Yes, sir.
When I say no, isn't that also a definite answer?
Yes, sir.
But if I say that I'm neutral, I'm indifferent.
Okay.
Can I distinguish between yes and no?
No, it's confusing.
It's confusing. This type of situation is known as equilibrium. If a balance is like this, my right hand is on the bottom, what do? You either make this one lighter or you make this one heavy, right? To balance.
Yes, sir.
I know what we know with perfect knowledge what to do. If the balance is like this one is heavier than this, then we make this one lighter or this one heavier. But if it is like this, can we say which one to make heavy or which one to make lighter?
No, sir.
This is known as equilibrium, neither yes nor no. When we are confused, like the person who said neutral, that means I can't definitely say yes, I
Yes.
can't definitely say no.
Yes, sir.
This is known as an equilibrium position, like this, okay?
Yes, sir. It's a confusing condition.
It's a confusing, that means I can't give a definite answer. If I can give a definite
Exactly.
answer, like I did over here, that if my additional benefit is greater than my additional cost, obviously I'll say yes. If my additional benefit is less than my additional cost, obviously I'll say no. Okay? But if MB is equal to MC, I can neither say yes nor can I say no. Yes, right? Got it?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so when indifferent, there is no scope for further change. When there is no scope for further change, this is also known as efficient situation or equilibrium. Or equilibrium. Okay. We have already given this example that if GPA increases, then CGPA increases. If GPA falls, CGPA falls. That means marginal change is the change that happens first. Why? Because we are making incremental calculations. The GPA is your performance in a particular semester, first, second, third. Once we know your performance in the second semester, we can calculate your performance from 0 to number 2. We can count. Is that clear now?
Sir.
Hey, where were you? You vanished হয়ে গেছিলা?
না 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 আমি আছি স্যার শুনতেছি তো।
Oh, but you're not talking. That's very unnatural for you.
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
Okay.
স্যার the question হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ I had a question স্যার কিন্তু একটা সিজিপিএ রিগার্ডিং সিজিপিএ একটা কোয়েশ্চেন হচ্ছে স্যার আমার ফার্স্ট দুইটা সেমেস্টার শেষে যে সিজিপিএ স্যার হ্যাঁ ওইটা যত আমি যদি
CGPA is from 0 to 2 না?
from 0 to 2 right yeah
So you're counting. You're not calculating a particular semester, are you?
no I'm counting from the beginning till the end.
Okay, you're counting 2. You're not counting second.
No I'm counting first and second both.
Okay, good.
হ্যাঁ এখন স্যার আমার কোয়েশ্চেনটা হচ্ছে সেকেন্ড সেমেস্টারে আমার যে সিজিপিএ থাকবে স্যার হ্যাঁ সরি সেকেন্ড সেমেস্টার শেষে আমার যে জিপিএ থাকবে ওইটা যদি থার্ড সেমেস্টারের ইকুয়ালও হয় তাহলে কিন্তু আমার থার্ড সেমেস্টার শেষে সিজিপিএ কমতে পারে
না তুমি যখন সেকেন্ডটা শেষ করলে you can't compare it with the third. The second will be compared with the previous one. You started with say 3.6 CGPA at the end of the first semester.
First semester CGPA 3.6 okay.
You in the second semester you got 3.7. So your marginal is better than your average now. So what happens? Your CGPA increases by the end of the second semester. You started off with 3.6 and then in the second semester your GPA is 3.5. So your marginal is less than your average. So at the end of the second semester, i.e. 1-2, your CGPA falls, right?
Yeah.
And then if it's 3.6 in both cases, then it remains unchanged. That is the equilibrium condition. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so once we get into graphs, this will be clear. But if we just remember this particular relationship, that marginal this and that. Okay, we've come to the end of this lot. So let me do one thing. Today's class will be a little bit longer. Let me bring out the other one, 4B. Okay. Let me see if I can get 4B out. Yes. Acha. Today we will be introducing demand and supply. Just introducing. Next class we will be doing it in detail. Acha. Look at this graph. It's in your text, page number 30. Look at the blue, desired rate. Look at the black, planned rate. What do you understand by this? Excuse me. Desired rate of purchase for households, planned rate of sale for
Buyers.
sellers. Planned rate of sale for sellers, S. Desired rate of purchase, demand for households. What do you understand by desired and planned? What we do understand is desired rate of purchase is not the actual purchase I'm making, right?
We are expecting.
It's not. Is it the actual purchase I'm making?
No.
No.
In the context of the supply curve, it was written in your text, planned rate of sales. So whatever a firm is planning, is it the actual production that it's making?
No.
Okay. Now, the first, প্রথম যে ধাক্কাটা খাবে সবাই, the first, the first, is in these two words, desired and planned. Why will this happen? This happens because if we look at a, do we have it here? Let me see. Oh. Okay. No, we don't have it here. Okay. Suppose we are given a price chart. This is the top price. This is the medium price. This is the bottom price. We don't know which price prevails in the market. But if this was the top price, this is the amount I would like to consume. Isn't that a desired calculation? If the price is top price, this is the amount of consumption I would like to make. If the price is the middle price, this is the amount of consumption I would like to make. If the price is the bottom price, the lowest price, this is the amount of consumption I would like to make. This is how demand functions and supply functions are calculated.
Means the price, whatever it I have to consume.
No, we have a set of prices. The set of prices goes from high to low. Okay.
I am the seller here.
We don't know what the actual price is in the market. If we know what the actual price is, then we can automatically tell that whatever I'm thinking now is also actually what I'm going to do. But when we
are you saying it from the buyer's perspective?
Yeah, from the buyer's perspective, correct. So the buyer sees a set of prices, a top price, middle price, and a bottom price. So if the price was the top price, the households say, okay, I'm going to purchase this amount. That's my desired purchase. If the price is the middle price, I want to purchase a little more. That's my desired purchase. If the price is the bottom price, I want to purchase a little bit more. Similar thing happens with the farms. If the price is the top price, definitely, given the capacity of the farm will want to produce more. If the price is the middle price, the farm will want to produce a little bit less.
Okay.
If the farm is price is the what do you call it? The bottom price, the farm will plan to produce less. Okay. Now, what problem does that lead to? That leads to this little graph. Look at this graph. When the price is P1, what do you understand from the graph? Aren't the households planning to consume less?
More, demand will be less.
If the price is the top price, P1, then farms are very happy. They plan to supply this much. Households are not happy. They plan to buy this much. Okay. So what happens in the market?
Surplus.
There is a surplus. Once there is a surplus in the market, what does common sense tell you? Won't the farms want to reduce the price so that the
price
people
will
buy a
drop
little bit more?
Yes, price will drop. So eventually buyers will love to buy more.
Lovely. So when the price is high, definitely the farms will want to reduce. Got it? Now, what about this one? If this is the price, P0, households want to buy this much, farms want to produce this much. So there's excess demand in the market. There's a shortage. When
Exactly.
there's a shortage, then people will be, those who are willing to pay a higher price, won't they get their product?
They will not get the product.
So what will happen when there is a shortage?
Price will
There will be
increase.
crisis.
Price will tend to increase.
Exactly.
Households offer higher price. So the reason why I'm saying this is when we say planned and desired, we see a set of prices. If the price is PE, what will happen? Whatever the households want, the farms are also going to sell that much, right? If price is PE, isn't supply and demand the same?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Equilibrium point.
Now, when we go to a market, at any point, we will never see PE. We will either see P1, there's a little bit of surplus in the market,
P0.
or we say P0, there will be a little bit of shortage.
Yes.
Okay, but the ideal situation is how we model something. Okay, so if it was PE, then whatever I planned to sell, I'm selling actually. If it was PE, whatever I desired to buy, I'm buying that
much.
actually as well. Okay, but in a market, at any point you go, there will always be a little bit of surplus or there will be some shortage. But we are interested in equilibrium for model point of view, not from a reality point of view. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you got that part right. Acha, ei jinishta. Who has problems understanding this equation? PUD is a function of these four variables.
Supply chain.
Whatever the variables stand for. So far we have said quantity demanded is a function of price, but now it's a function of four variables inside. Who has problems understanding this function? Is there anybody? If there is, then I'll explain it.
Sir, explain it, please.
Okay, lovely. Let me get to the whiteboard. Okay. Quantity demanded is a function of price. This is what we said. P, price of X. So common sense tells us if price of X increases, then quantity demanded of X falls, right? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
But
sir.
the demand for X, let us say that the X is Pepsi Cola. Is the demand for Pepsi Cola a function of the price of Pepsi Cola only? No. It's a function of three other factors. What is the price of a substitute commodity? A substitute commodity would be Coca-Cola. If the price of Coca-Cola goes up and down, won't that influence the price of Pepsi, the original commodity?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The price, the demand for Pepsi is also a function of what we drink with Pepsi. If we go to a restaurant, do you just have Pepsi and come back? With Pepsi, you might have a burger, right?
Yes, sir.
So if the price of burgers go up and down, isn't that also going to influence your demand for Pepsi?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And a third factor that influences is income. So if you go to a burger joint where the prices of the burger are very, very high, then it depends on whether you have the income to buy it or not, right?
Yes, sir.
So when we make a proper demand function, we are writing it like this: price of X, price of substitute, price of complement, income. And
Sir,
there
another example of complement is fish and chips, right, sir?
fish and chips, correct. You like fish and chips?
Not really, sir. Not really. Not really. I
Because
don't eat fish that much.
the thing is, in Bangladesh, the fish and chips are very American. They don't do the proper British fish and chips. I would die. I'll kill for that proper British fish and chips. Anyhow, so before we get into this function, let me ask you all a question. The demand for X cannot be the function of price of X only. It will be the function of many factors, right?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Now, suppose, is there anybody here whose father or mother is a doctor? Is there anybody in our class whose father or mother is a doctor? We don't have anybody. Okay, no problem. Suppose you have problem with your heart. You go to a heart specialist. What does the heart specialist assume? That other organs in the body are unchanged. He or she analyzes only the heart, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So initially, we assume that the only factor that influences the demand for X is the price of X. We assume that everything else is unchanged, just like the doctor does as well. The doctor initially assumes, okay, I'm a heart specialist, a patient has come to me. So I assume, first of all, that other organs in that person's body is okay. Then I just focus on the heart. Now, if I find out that something else other than the heart is influencing the patient's health, then I go to that. Then I go to that particular reason, right?
Yes, sir.
In our analysis, we do the same thing. We just start with quantity demanded is a function of its own price. That means quantity demanded of X is a function of the price of X. We assume that everything else is constant. This is a scientific way of doing it. This is how scientists do it. Okay. So what we do, we go back again. Okay. X and Y. There are two goods. Relationship is X or Y. We consume either X or Y. What do we call the two goods? Aren't they substitutes of each other? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Acha. If the relationship between X and Y is like this, you consume them together, then aren't they complements?
Yes, sir.
Like a left shoe and right shoe?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so where are we? Where are we? Okay. So look at the substitutes. Relationship between substitutes is X or Y. If we consume X, we don't consume Y. So if X is Pepsi and Y is Coca-Cola, if the price of Coca-Cola increases, doesn't that lead to the increase in the demand for Pepsi?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you see, although the original price of this particular product is unchanged, its substitutes price has increased. So its demand will also increase, right? That's what common sense tells us. The reverse will happen with if the price of Coke falls, then the demand for Pepsi will also fall. Now, in the case of complement, don't you expect a different relationship?
Yes, sir.
Complements is that you have a certain budget for the month, and what happens is if the price of burgers keep on going up, so if you had say 4 burgers a month in a restaurant, this month you're going to have only 3 because the price of burger has gone up, so you consume less Pepsi with it, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, can we give in the context of income, for some goods, as our income increases, we increase our consumption. Everybody in this class are either students or they are in the very beginning of their career of their career, right?
Yes, sir.
So we can assume that people who are in the beginning stage of their career, if they don't have a family backing or other sources of income, they're buying a mobile phone which is not more than 20,000 taka, right?
Right.
If you don't have a family backing or other sources of income, what do you expect? Somebody who has just passed and just entered the job market, what will the price of their phone be? Won't it be 20 to 25,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now 5 years later you have become rich, so your income has increased. Okay, so what happens? Won't your demand for a 50,000
High-end
taka
set.
phone or even higher end increase?
Yes, sir.
So as our income increases, our demand for certain goods increase, which we call normal good or income superior goods.
Income
Income
superior.
superior goods.
Income superior or normal. In this text, they use the word income superior. If you're familiar from economics before, you will be familiar with the technical term normal. It's the same thing. At the same time, as our income goes up, our demand for low-end products, what happens? Doesn't it fall?
Yes, sir.
Those are known as income inferior or inferior goods. So the main three variables, other than the commodity's own price that we'll be looking at the moment, is substitute, complement,
Income.
and income. Okay. Where are we? We need this one. Okay, start again. Okay, this is price. This is quantity demanded. This is a demand curve. So here, so I can make a straight line. Okay. We take another one. Do another one over here. Okay. Okay, so this is P1. This is Q1. This is P2. This is Q2. This is the demand. As price falls, our demand increases.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, why is the substitute? We have agreed that if price of substitute increases, then the demand for X will increase, right?
Yes.
Doesn't common sense tell us this?
Yes.
Okay. তাহলে এটা আমরা কিভাবে গ্রাফে দেখাবো? Has the price of the original good fallen? What has changed? The price of the substitute, right? Has the price of the original good changed?
I didn't catch the
No, sir.
question.
It didn't. It didn't. It didn't.
না তুমি আর কমপ্লিকেট করতেছো জিনিস।
না স্যার, অরিজিনাল প্রাইস তো কমে নাই, কমছে স্যার। অরিজিনাল প্রোডাক্টের কমে নাই।
ইয়েস আর নো বলতেছো তুমি?
কম্পিটিশনের বেড়েছে, বাট
নো নো নো।
আপনি স্যার কোশ্চেন করলেন না যে ডিড দ্য প্রাইস অফ দ্য অরিজিনাল প্রোডাক্ট চেঞ্জ, এটাই তো কোশ্চেন ছিল না স্যার?
হ্যাঁ, হোয়াটস ইওর আনসার?
আমি বলছি স্যার ইট ডিডন্ট।
ও ইট ডিডন্ট, রাইট রাইট। সরি, আমি তাহলে শুনছি ইট ডিড এন্ড ডিডন্ট। ওকে, ইউ আর কারেক্ট, ইউ আর কারেক্ট। আচ্ছা, তাহলে does everybody agree if the price of the substitute has increased only, what has happened to the original good, which is our X? Did the price of X increase or decrease? No change.
No change.
No
But
change.
since the price of the substitute has increased, our demand for X has increased. So how do we show this in the graph? Won't it be like this?
Parallel line.
Now parallel ta keno hobe? Just the price of X has remained unchanged, but since the commodity price of the substitute has increased, তো আমরা আগের চেয়ে আরো বেশি ডিমান্ড করছি না?
জি স্যার।
This is a shift of the curve. When the price of X changes only, we are moving along the same curve. Okay. When the price of the substitute has increased, which has led to an increase in the demand for the original graph, the original good, then we cannot use this D. We have to use the
Another demand curve.
Demand curve. Now, since it's an improvement, it's a rightward shift.
No.
If it was like this, wait. Do we agree?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
what will happen graphically then? Will it be a left shift or
Demand will be
Left. It will move to left.
to the left?
Left.
Great. Tale I don't need to say anything else.
Sir, can I confirm something from that example?
Just a second. Let me get to this curve first. Okay, carry on. Now I can answer.
So let's say Domino's and Pizza. We are the consumers of Domino's and the substitute is Pizza Hut. So if the price of Pizza Hut increases, the demand for Domino's will go high.
তাহলে এখানে
And vice versa.
black থেকে ডান দিকে যাবে না?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The
Okay.
price of the, you said the price of what is your original good, Domino's or
Domino's.
Pizza Hut? Domino's. Okay, you don't like Pizza Hut.
It's not like that. I just said it.
Okay. I don't like Pizza Hut either. Anyhow, the Domino's unfortunately our বাসায় home delivery দেয় না. That's why I don't like them either. Also, anyhow, so P1 is the original price which has not changed, but since the price of the substitute has increased, then we demand more of the original good at each price now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That's why it's a rightward shift.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. Any increase in demand graphically means a horizontal increase. So a rightward shift will mean increase. Any decrease in demand is also a horizontal movement shift, but it will be a leftward shift. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So now let's look at this. Let's look at this graph. This is table 2.235. You just use common sense. If there is an increase in the consumer's income level, and we know that the good is a normal good, will the shift be from D to D1 over here or D to D2 down here? Income has increased. The good is an income superior good. So our demand for that good increases as our income increases. High-end mobile.
Rightward shift.
Rightward shift. Correct. As our income has increased, what will happen to the demand for low-end phones? Will it increase or decrease?
Leftward.
So it will be leftward. Okay,
Decrease.
lovely. Now, there's another thing over here, population. If the population of Dhaka city increases tomorrow by 10%, what will the demand for bananas happen? Will it move to the shift to the right or to the left?
Left. Right.
Right, correct. But right now, the population of Dhaka city is probably half because of the lockdown. Lots of people have left Dhaka, right?
Yes.
So what will happen to the demand curve then?
It will move to left.
Aircraft shift to be left.
Left, correct. So what you do, just look at this table and just try to visualize that this particular thing has changed. Has it led to an improvement over the previous situation? Yes, rightward shift. No, leftward shift. That's it. Okay.
So sometimes, I mean, as you said just now that people when are leaving, I mean, people already left Dhaka and the demands for the bananas has been decreased. I mean, it can be opposite one. হতে পারে না যে
কিরকম?
opposite like sir demand the same, I mean though the I mean amount, I mean population is
No,
decreasing.
no. If the population before the lockdown was 20 million, 2 crores, which is the
Yes, sir.
official population of Dhaka city, during
Okay.
the lockdown, the population is now 1 crore, 10 million.
Yes sir, but sir demand is, I mean when is it
Demand will
demand?
definitely change if the population decreases.
Yes, I mean it completely depends on the population, right?
If population is our factor, other than say substitute price, complement price, or income.
Okay.
What does your common sense tell you? If the population decreases by 50%, which is probably the case right now.
No, I was a question like sir মানে population যদি মানে কমুক আর বাড়ুক,
বাংলায় বলো, no problem.
No, sir, I can speak.
Okay,
if
okay.
the people decrease or increase, I mean the demand when if a person or the Dhaka people, even though demand is same, I mean they're demanding the bananas in the same amount. I mean, it can be happen. It can be happen if that is possible.
No, if the population has fallen by, let's say, 50% of the population always has one banana every day.
Okay.
So if the population is 20 million, then 10 million bananas are demanded every day. Now, if the population becomes 10 million, then only 5 million bananas will be demanded every day, right?
Yeah.
So that will be a leftward shift.
Okay, sir, I understand.
Now you got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Acha. এই সাপ্লাইয়ের ক্ষেত্রে একই জিনিস। So we've done this, we've done that. Net present value. Is there anybody in this class who knows something about net present value or why we calculate it? If you don't know, you don't know. Don't worry. Is there anybody in the class who knows something about net present value or present value? Answer is no. Is the answer no?
I think no.
Okay. Can you see this money? Wait, let me turn this light off. Can you see this note? It's a 1,000 taka note.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How much is it worth?
1,000.
Who said 1,000?
Me.
Acha, nah, your name isn't Tami. Your name is something else. What's your name?
Humayun Kabir.
Acha, Humayun Kabir. Why do you say this is worth 1,000 taka? Let's see what your answer is.
Because sir, it is written on it.
It's written 1,000 taka. Okay. Now,
No, sir.
Wait. Who said no, sir?
Sir, me.
Your name isn't me.
Tonmoy.
Acha, why do you say no?
Because with this paper, I can own 1,000 taka of value of products.
Okay, but he said that the value is 1,000 taka. You're saying that it's something else.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's something else?
Because it's the exchange rate of 1,000 taka.
Okay, 1,000 taka. So it is worth 1,000 taka there. If the exchange rate is, I can buy 1,000 units of something that is worth 1 taka, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the reason why I'm asking this question or framing it like this is that suppose you if we had a physical class and to come to the class you spend 50 taka on bus fare and on your way back you spend another 50 taka. Is this worth 1,000 taka today or is it worth 100 taka? This is your money for 10 classes bus fare. One way bus fare to Brack University is 50 taka. Return bus fare is 50 taka, 100 taka. So isn't this worth 100 taka today?
Yes. No.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
1,000 taka will be worth 1,000 taka if we are going to spend it today. That is the present value. The 1,000 taka will be worth 10% of its value if we are going to spend 100 taka today. That's called the present value. From this we enter into the notion of discounting. Have you come across the term discounting?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, the counting and discounting are just the same but opposite directions.
Yes.
Accounting means we start from a small figure and we gradually add 1, 2, 3, 4. Discounting means we start from a large figure, for example 1000, and we count backwards. That means we're discounting. So discounting is related to the concept of present value or net present value, whatever. So that means how over what time frame will I spend this 1000 taka? If I'm going to spend this 1000 taka in 2 days, then today 1000 taka is not worth 1000 taka to me. It's worth 500 taka. If I'm going to spend this 1000 taka over 4 days, 1000 taka is not worth 1000 taka to me. It's worth 250 taka. Do you get the notion now?
Yes, sir.
So if we are looking at a multi-time period framework, marginal analysis is not going to work. Marginal analysis is only good if we are looking at a single time frame. But if we are, for example, your MBA program, how many semesters will it be? 6 semesters, 5 semesters?
Yes, sir.
So when you are going to calculate the cost, aren't you going to spread it over 5 semesters or 6 semesters?
Yes, sir.
Then we calculate the present value or discounted value. This is what you have done in your previous mathematics courses. You've done lots of technical terms, but this is the actual philosophical implementation or meaning of discounting. Counting can happen in both ways. You can count from 0 to carry on larger, which is accounting, or you can do just the opposite. Start from a large amount and count backwards, discounting. We do that every month. At the এখানে কি সবাই চাকরি করে না? Many of you work, right?
Yes, sir.
Acha, so at the beginning of the month you got say 50,000 taka salary. What are you doing? Aren't you discounting?
Yes.
Yes,
Throughout the whole month, aren't you counting backwards?
Yes.
Over 30 days you're spending money, right? You're spending from 50,000. So your time frame is 30 days. So what are you doing? You're actually discounting your money, right?
Yes.
So if we are doing an analysis that involves more than one time framework, one time period, then marginal analysis will not work. So what we do, we spread out the benefits and we spread out the costs. But the principle is the same. If the additional benefit over say 5 periods of time is greater than additional cost of 5 periods of time, we say yes, we'll do the MBA program. Otherwise we don't. And discounting, accounting and discounting is very simple. And the best way to remember is your salary. At the beginning of the month, you see a big amount. By the end of the month, you see simply 0. Sometimes we even see negative, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we are going to do, I'm going, the reason why I said planned, this is the last thing for today. Do we see one price or a set of prices over here?
Set of price.
So if the price was 4.10, this is the amount that the household would have purchased. If the price was 3.5, this is the amount that the household would have purchased. That's why we used the term desired rate of purchase. Because in our demand analysis, we have a set of prices. Which price is going to work? We don't know. The same thing goes for the farms. They also confront that same set of prices. Against each corresponding set of prices, they have a corresponding amount of units that they want to produce. Just a second. Okay, this one is what we will start next week. Okay, there's 2 types of demands. One is demand in 1999. One is demand in 2007.
I have a question. So the page numbers that are mentioned here and in every graphs and tables, from which book are these?
Okay, this written একদম টপে আছে. AJ McGuigan et al.
Sir, already
Okay, answer. You gave us 2 PDFs, right, via email. So there's the chapter called. Hello.
Carry on. I'm listening. Carry on.
There's a chapter called Perfect Markets: Demand, Supply, and Price. I'm not able to find the similarities here. That's why I asked.
Can you say it again, and I'll be able to
So
clarify.
the chapters you mailed us previously, 2 PDFs. From which book are these?
Okay, chapter 1. There's 2 files there.
Yes, sir.
One is one says chapter 1, chapter 2, and another one says chapter 3, right?
Chapter 3, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
those are from Stiglitz and Walsh.
Okay, sir.
If you look at the file name, you see the word Stiglitz and Walsh.
Okay, okay.
And if you look at the slides,
and these are from the McQueen, right? Sorry, sir, I missed out the first slide.
Okay, that's why. And today's slide I'll show you again.
Yes,
then your confusion will be gone.
No, it's already gone. Thank you, sir.
No. This is a valid argument.
Thank
This
you.
is a valid argument. Let us clarify it. No problem. Where is it? Oh, where's the share screen? This is the one that I want. Okay. What do you see over here as the reference? Stiglitz and Walsh, right?
Stiglitz and Walsh, yes, sir.
So over here, I've given the page numbers.
Okay, sir.
So if you just go to those 2 PDFs, chapter 1 and 2 is one file, chapter 3 is another file.
Yes, sir.
And if we if you want to
আমি ভাই আপনাদের বলি ব্যাপারটা এরকম না হ্যাঁ
হ্যালো
স্ট্র্যাটেজিক মুভের কথা যদি হয় সেটা আলাদা হিসাব বাট এখন
maybe he is discussing
somebody
about something.
who's making a phone call. Okay, so where is it? Okay, our today's slide,
yes, sir,
that we just finished now. Let me bring that one out now. What is the reference? McGuigan,
McGuigan, yes, sir. So, I missed this slide, so
no problem. No problem. 28 to 62 লেখা আছে, but actually we're not going to cover the entire chapter.
Okay.
Over here, I've given the page number for all of them, huh?
Sir. Okay, sir.
Page number is over here. Page number, no, এটা তো অন্য জিনিস। এই যে এখানে page number আছে 33, 34, etc. Okay, so I'll mail the slides right now so that it won't be a problem. So this is basically, this was a long class because we had some problems last week. So first Saturday I had a family problem, and Tuesday we were getting disconnected after every 2 minutes. Okay, now where is Sharafat? Sharafat?
Here I am, sir. Here I am.
You're there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because তোমার চুপচাপ থাকলে আমার ভয় লাগে। তুমি আসো
কেন স্যার? কেন স্যার? কেন ভয় লাগে?
না, ভয় লাগে মানে কি, যে লোকটা সবসময় কথা বলে সে যদি হঠাৎ চুপ হয়ে যায় তাহলে সামথিং ইজ রং। এই লোকটা একেবারেই কথা বলে না, কালকে থেকে যদি দেখো যে খুব বেশি কথা বলতেছে, সেটাও সামথিং রং না? Anything outside the norm, you have to ask a question, why is this happening? Or why is it not happening?
আমি স্যার বেসিক্যালি ওই যে ম্যাথমেটিক্যাল পোরশনটা যখন আসলো না, দ্য স্লোপ এন্ড এভরিথিং, ওখান থেকে স্যার আই ওয়াজ স্ট্রাগলিং টু আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড, বুঝছেন? এইজন্য মানে আই ওয়াজ চুপচাপ আর কি।
No, I'm not saying this in a bad way. It's just that
না স্যার, মানে এইটা মানে আমার স্যার আর কি লিমিটেশন আর কি, আমি ওই পার্ট থেকে অত ভালো আর কি বুঝতেছিলাম না যে রেসপন্ড করব।
No, but the thing is, you're making an effort to learn. That's more important. That's more important.
Yeah, I do. I always do, sir. Yeah.
That's more important. Whatever your outcome is, you make an effort to learn. That should be applicable for everybody. Okay, so can I stop the recording?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me